Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to this week's Midweek 180. I'm at home this week, pretty busy, but mostly YouTube busy, which is always a good thing, getting some videos done. I've had a few comments that my content's dropped off a little bit recently, and I know that, and I'm quite stressed about the fact that I haven't had a video do really well for quite some time. But that is a consequence of a combination of doing a bit of my old job, having holidays, and also going on some drive tours and press trips that have meant it's been quite difficult to film lots of content. So I've really been going hand to mouth video editing and uploading. So I'm trying to put that right over the next couple of weeks. I'm around, pretty much around at home for the next few weeks, and I've got some amazing things now planned. So lots of content coming to you. Hopefully I will reverse the trend of ill-performing videos. But if you're thinking about unsubscribing, please don't stay around, because I will be putting out some great stuff recently. But if you've not seen one of these before, this is my midweek update where I bring you my news, views and information about upcoming reviews, all filmed in one take. I'm going to put 180 seconds in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and that's it, a very simple format. But before we get going, you will notice I'm sat in my long-termer, the Nissan Aria. It's a beautiful day, but I thought I'd come and film in here because this car goes back today. I was only actually meant to have this long-termer for about a month because of kind of supply issues and a few things that didn't quite go as planned in the background, but I've had it for a little bit longer than that now. But it is going back today. I collect my new long-termer this afternoon at 2 o'clock, and I am super excited to share with you what car I'm going to be having. I'll be doing a film. It will be landing on Friday at 6 o'clock, but honestly it's the most excited I've been so far about any long-termer I've had. Really am very excited, nearly as excited as Mrs. Petrol Ped. But I won't give you too much more information, because knowing you lot, you're bound to guess what I'm getting. Anyway, I shall start today's Midweek 180. Start my timer. Let's get cracking. Okay, last week's leader of the pack was Michael Kember. Well done, mate. Joined in the Magnificent Seven by Ben Higginson, Rob Matheson, Leanne Jackson, Paul Mead, Francois G and Stephen Spink. So if it was the first comment this week, you'll be my leader of the pack next week, and the first 7 comments will be in my Magnificent 7. Where are you and what you're doing? Well, that was Brum's Grub, who was in Shropshire in one of his petrol stations. Basically, there'd been a diesel spill. 5,000 litres of diesel had been spilled. He was waiting for a clean-up team to clean it up and was expecting a very long night. I can't imagine how difficult that must be to clean up. It's bad enough when you just drop a bit out the nozzle when you're topping up a diesel car. Horrendous. Last week's question was about travel nightmares. There were some really good ones. I've got to mention Brian Griffith, who was delayed getting on a hovercraft because of high winds, and they ended up going out in the hovercraft in like force 9 gale, and he thought he was going to die. I mention that because it's been years since I've been on a hovercraft. I used to quite like hovercrafts. They kind of aren't really a thing so much anymore. And there were lots of you stuck in that ash cloud a few years ago as well for long periods of time. This week's question is about petrol and diesel prices, because I've noticed in my local filling station there is now only a 2p a litre difference between diesel and petrol, with diesel being the more expensive. And I know, talking to Joe Achilles, he's seen garages where it's the other way round, where for the first time in many years diesel is actually cheaper than petrol. So what's it like where you are? What's that price difference? And obviously the prices have been coming down. I think it's around about sort of late 30s, early 40s, £1.30 to £1.40, I guess, per litre. But is it close, petrol, diesel? F1 at the weekend was from Canada. Qualifying I thought was really interesting because it was mixed up a little bit by it being wet. The race, a little bit processional. I was pretty gutted for Hulkenberg being demoted on the grid. I know he didn't slow down for a red flag, which is never excusable, but you know, it's a shame really. But it's good to see the Astons and the Mercedes kind of improving their pace and getting closer to the Red Bulls. But let's face it, the Red Bulls are still way out in front, far too good. Max Verstappen, world champion this year. I do worry Perez might lose his seat though. I'm not quite sure who would go there, but there's been a few bits in the press I've seen this week about him not having a seat next year, or maybe even losing it before the end of the year. New car news. It's super, like literally just a silhouette, but Festival of Speed is coming up, and there's always cars launched at Festival of Speed, and this is the first one I've seen. This is called the Caterham Project V. It's an all-electric concept that they're going to actually release on the 12th of July, and then it will be at Festival of Speed for us to have a look at. But it's designed by a guy called Anthony Jannarelly, who is Caterham's new head of design, who came from Jannarelly Cars, which I drove a Jannarelly on the channel maybe 3 years ago now. Drove it at Speed Week. amazingly beautiful thing. So if that's what his pen can do, I would love to see what this new Project V is going to be. And I think it's an interesting thing for Caterham, because they're known for that that kind of iconic shape. I know they've just done recently an electrified Caterham 7, but I can't wait to see what the Project V looks like. Couple of bits of news. I filmed with the new Kia EV9 last week. It's still under embargo. I don't know when the embargo will lift, but stay tuned for that. It should be towards the end of June, early July. I'll have a video dropping on the channel on that. And then, as I've mentioned, this Friday at 6 is my new long-termer. I'm very, very excited. But yeah, Aria goes back. I've enjoyed, I know it's only done a couple of films on the Aria because I've just been away so much. I've just not really had the opportunity to plan anything. And it's been more of a behind-the-scenes workhorse more than anything else. But it is a very impressive electric car, that's for sure. We both kind of enjoyed having it, but it goes back today. New car on the drive by the end of the day. Tune in on Friday to find out what that is. Anyway, for now, I'm going to love you and leave you and get back to me day. I'm going to give this a bit of a clean before it goes back. Quick wash round the outside, hashtag no sponge, and maybe a quick whiz round with the Hoover, vacuum cleaner. But yes, anyway, I will see you on that. If you enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And that there are some really cool things in the pipeline. I've got a couple of very, very, very exciting trips for the cyclists amongst you. I'm going to the Tour de France with Skoda, and I cannot wait for that. It's going to be a very special trip. It's one of those invites that came through. I cannot believe I'm going to be doing what I'm going to be doing, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Even if you don't like cycling, there's loads of car stuff in it. Anyway, I'm gassing and I'm giving away all my secrets, people. I shall see you on the next film. You take care. Drive safe.